In today's competitive business world, understanding the laws of marketing is essential for success. In the book, The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing by Al Ries and Jack Trout, the authors outline key principles that can help businesses thrive. Let's take a closer look at these laws and how they can be applied to your marketing strategy. Law 1. The law of leadership. It's better to be first in a category than to be better. Being the first in a market allows you to establish yourself as the leader and set the standards for others to follow. Law 2. The law of the category. If you can't be the leader in a category, create a new category where you can be the leader. By creating a new category, you can differentiate yourself from the competition and become the go-to brand in that space. Law 3. The law of the mind. It's not enough to be the first or the best, you need to be the first in the customer's mind. Positioning your brand in the minds of consumers is crucial for success. Law 4. The law of perception. Marketing is not about what you say, but how your message is perceived by the customer. It's important to understand how your target audience perceives your brand and tailor your messaging accordingly. Law 5. The law of focus. The most powerful concept in marketing is owning a word in the prospect's mind. By focusing on a specific niche or attribute, you can establish yourself as the expert in that area. Law 6. The law of exclusivity. Two companies cannot own the same word in the prospect's mind. It's important to differentiate yourself from the competition and find a unique selling proposition that sets you apart. Law 7. The law of the ladder. The strategy to use depends on which rung you occupy on the ladder. Your marketing strategy should be aligned with your position in the market and the needs of your target audience. Law 8. The law of duality. In the long run, every market becomes a two-horse race. It's important to identify your main competitor and focus on outperforming them in order to dominate the market. Law 9. The law of the opposite. If you're shooting for second place, your strategy is determined by the leader. By understanding the strategies of the market leader, you can position yourself as the alternative choice. Law 10. The law of division. Over time, a category will divide and become two or more categories. It's important to stay ahead of these divisions and adapt your marketing strategy accordingly. Law 11. The law of perspective. Marketing effects take place over an extended period of time. It's important to have a long-term perspective and not get discouraged by short-term setbacks. Law 12. The law of line extension. There's an irresistible pressure to extend the equity of the brand. However, line extensions can dilute the brand and confuse consumers. It's important to carefully consider any brand extensions. Law 13. The law of sacrifice. You have to give up something in order to get something. It's important to make strategic choices and focus on what you do best, rather than trying to be everything to everyone. Law 14. The law of attributes. For every attribute, there is an opposite effective attribute. It's important to understand the attributes that are valued by your target audience and position your brand accordingly. Law 15. The law of candor. When you admit a negative, the prospect will give you a positive. Being honest and transparent with your audience can build trust and credibility. Law 16. The law of singularity. In each situation, only one move will produce substantial results. It's important to identify the key leverage points in your marketing strategy and focus your efforts on those areas. Law 17. The law of unpredictability. Unless you write your competitors' plans, you can't predict the future. It's important to be adaptable and responsive to changes in the market. Law 18. The law of success. Success often leads to arrogance, which can be the downfall of a brand. It's important to stay humble and continue to innovate and adapt to stay ahead. Law 19. The law of failure. Failure is to be expected and accepted. It's important to learn from your failures and use them as opportunities for growth and improvement. Law 20. The law of hype. The situation is often the opposite of the way it appears in the press. It's important to not get caught up in hype and focus on the reality of your brand and market. Law 21. The law of acceleration. Successful programs are not built on fads, but on trends. It's important to identify and capitalize on long-term trends rather than short-term fads. Law 22. The law of resources. Without adequate funding, an idea won't get off the ground. It's important to allocate sufficient resources to your marketing efforts to ensure success. By understanding and applying these 22 immutable laws of marketing, you can position your brand for success and gain a competitive edge in the market. So take the time to study these laws and incorporate them into your marketing strategy.